Microphone check 1 2 1 2. This is your host, not some baby, and this is another episode of Swingers After Dark. And I'm with a couple from Virginia. You know they call Virginia the state of the lovers, right? The state of the lovers, and they're not from Tidewater. They're from Richmond. You know they from the 804. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to talk to them about the couple dynamics because in a swing lifestyle you have different couple dynamics. Like when I was in a couple, me and my lady, we had our rules, but a single lady didn't have to come to her to play with me, or a single male didn't have to come to me to play with her. But you have couples, the woman in the couple, she may not want to play with another dude, but she allows, or they have an agreement with, the man, the husband, the boyfriend, the significant other, or whatever the case may be, he could just do his thing while the woman just sit back. But even then, just because the woman sits back, she does her thing, that doesn't mean she's bisexual. She could be straight like 12:30, on the clock. So I just wanted to talk to the couple, my newfound friends. So I just wanted to, ask the both of you, it's like, what is your couple dynamic? And are you, Miss Lady, are you, you go both ways? Are you straight, or whatever the case may be? Are you crooked? Are you bi-curious? Whatever the case may be. So first and foremost, just tell me your couple dynamic. Like, what are your rules? And tell me, Miss Lady, like, do women approach you, or like, how do you deal with that dynamic? Because they think that just because you're a woman in a lifestyle, you automatically swing, no pun intended, to the other team. So first and foremost, what is your dynamic? Like your rules and how you move in a swing lifestyle.
Well, our rules are we always accompany each other to parties. We never go to parties without each other. While we're here, we usually announce to people that I am a voyeur, so I enjoy watching him and other people. And he's open to being with other women, multiple women. That's what he does. They don't have to approach me to be with him. It's more comfortable for him if they approach me or the both of us together. But for me, I really don't care. Most of the time, I just sleep. Yeah, because, I trust him. I don't have fears that he's going to leave here with another woman. And I think a lot of times that, that's what people want. They want that liberty. So when you see somebody who's already in a lifestyle, they want that for themselves because they can be who, they are to a certain degree without that judgment. But it's hard to find somebody that's really open enough to say, this is what I want to do without getting that judgment. Because we live in a culture that teaches us that it's not okay.
So it's like, how do you cope with women trying to holler at you, or like they know how do you convey to them if another woman attracted to you that you tell them, nah, I don't flow like that? Like, just tell me your just tell me, not necessarily your transition, but just tell me, like, how would you let it known to a woman that you're straight, or you don't play with women?
I normally just tell them I don't play, and over the last 2-3 years that we've been doing this, the sisters have been really respectful of that. They don't question me or push it. I've had a couple of sisters say, well, if you decide you want to come around, please look me up. But even in that conversation, it was respectful. They don't really push at me or are aggressive. I've never really had that even from a man in the lifestyle. They seem to be very respectful of what we do. And, we, in return, give that back.
So you telling me that you never wanted to eat that kitty cat, or you never wanted to be a pillow princess, meaning that you're the receiver, not the giver?
No, that doesn't appeal to me. When I see that, it's okay to watch, and even in watching, like I said, I'm a voyeur. I like penetration. I like to see people like get it in, get it in. If I'm riding down the road, I'm from the country. If the horses and cows are doing it, I'm going to stop and watch,
Uh, uh, okay, so how did y'all get into the lifestyle? Let's back up, let's rewind. How did y'all get into the LS?
Well, when we first met, I just liked the way he touched me so much. I said to him one day, well, I could watch you do it with somebody else. And he said, for real? I said, yeah. And it just kind of went from there.
So y'all met in a lifestyle?
No, we were dating. This was before we started cohabitating. And, I said that to him. And after we became a couple and started cohabitating, that kind of came maybe about 7-8 months later.
Yeah, I always had like this like a fantasy of doing it anyway. You feel me? Never done it before. Always wanted to. So I asked. I was like, when she said that, I was like, really? We gotta find somewhere for this to make it happen. So we ended up finding a group, and from that point forward, we've been doing it ever since.
So do you give her the option to play with other men?
No, that ain't what she want to do. She said she would like to play with me only here and just come to watch. She do it only for me, for my pleasure. She gets something out of it, but I get the most out of it.
So let's play quote unquote devil's advocate. Fuck that, God's advocate. So what do you say to people when they say, well, if you're not swapping, you're not real swingers? Like, how would you rebuttal that?
Well, I tell them we at the party.
And we're lifestylers, but we're not swingers.
Okay.
So, like I said, for me, I can touch a woman in a way that is sexual to other people, but I've worked in professions where it's okay to touch people. So for me, it's not a big deal. I can give a sensual massage without it being sexual for me because I'm not aroused by touching women. It would be different if it was a man and I was touching him. Of course, I would probably be stimulated, but I'm not stimulated by touching women. And I don't touch them in private parts. I don't do between the legs or fondle breasts.
So was there ever a point where you wanted to play with a single male or with a male and a couple? Was there a point that you wanted to swap with another couple? Come on, it had to be a point that your curiosity is like.
Well, there have been couples that we've met that were good people that we actually enjoyed being around and being with. And I'm not going to say it's unfair to even approach them about being with the woman partner in that relationship, but I would be very comfortable with watching the three of them with other people and me just being the person that's watching. But I would not be comfortable asking that couple, would it be okay for him just to be with the woman and then that man is left out? Unless he's a voyeur like me and he just, gets a kick out of watching.
So tell the listeners the difference between swingers and lifestylers, because even though you're in a couple, y'all not necessarily swingers and you put yourself in a lifestyle category. So break that down for the listeners.
I don't think I accurately can because there are so many definitions, it seems now.
Well, the general scope.
Well, in general, I think the definition would be for swingers is people who come together in groups and they swap out, to some extent with each other as couples or as individuals. Lifestylers are people who are open to multiple partners sexually. That's what I would think the definition would be.
So your husband is polyamorous and you're not. You're just a voyeur. He's an exhibitionist and you're a voyeur.
Right. You said polyamorous. That's a whole... Because now we talk...
No. That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah. Because I'm cool with that too. If we could find a wife...
Oh, yes.
He could have another wife. But she would have to be a lot like me. So, and not meaning the physical part of me, but she would have to have the same mindset that I have, that we're committed to building a community and raising a family. It's not just about the sexual openness of it. You got to be able
taken care of, nothing like that. We ain't going for that.
We got to take care of each other.
That's right.
And our family.
So were you interested in a lifestyle before y'all got together or when y'all got together? It's like, did y'all have a talk about the do's and don'ts and what to do and what not to do, what y'all allow and what y'all do not allow? Like, how did y'all come, like a meeting of the minds to get like an understanding of how y'all should move to the point where you could trust your mate on some ESP type shit that you already know what your man or what your woman is already going to do before they even think about doing it?
I think that's the beauty about it, that when we did talk about it, we came to the agreement, that this is how it's going to go. All right, you going to play? She was like, nah. She was like, I want to see you do it. So I was like, oh, wow, okay, that's the rule. She said, so I felt comfortable with always having her near me when I'm trying to do what I'm doing at the parties. So that's how we came to that agreement. And we
do have rules, of engagement.
Oh, yeah.
There is no kissing. And there is no oral sex for him, you know.
Okay, let me. I'm happy you brought that up. So, what's the difference between kissing and fucking? Because a lot of even oral sex. Because like when I was in a relationship, we could give and receive oral sex, but there was no kissing. So I tell people be like, y'all fucking, y'all having sex. She's like, what's the difference between kissing and sex? But I'm like, well, kissing is more intimate. Like you could kiss your relatives, but you're not necessarily gonna fuck them unless you're on some incest type shit.
Right.
But just break it down, like the difference between sex and kissing, because even prostitutes don't kiss their johns.
Right.
So break that down, like the difference between kissing and sex.
Well, you summed it up. You know, kissing is a very intimate part of the lovemaking process. You know, you have to really be engaged to do that. Sex, animals do it. You know, they just do it and then they break away and they're gone. You know, but when they cuddle, you know, that's different. You know, we don't do that. After, you know, the deed is done, you know, you break away. There's no coddling. You know, we have been in bed the next day with, you know, some women, but it wasn't coddling. He's kind of in the middle, you know, of the both of us. And we have people that when we greet them with a kiss, you know, on the cheek or hug them and embrace them. But that comes from developing a relationship of trust with them, that type of intimacy. But actual kissing in the mouth, no, we don't do that.
Yeah, because when you append it and then you get the kissing, it's intimate. Now it's trying to get you to a heart tie. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you can kiss your relative, but you ain't intimately kissing them. Mm-hmm. You just, hey, what's up? Mm-hmm. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I think, where the kiss thing comes at. And as far as oral, we got to watch that. For me, that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really her thing. But I have almost slipped up a couple times. Yeah, I ain't gonna front. I have. And she checked me. That's why I like her near me, because she checked me. Because I like it when I get that sauce in me. You know what I'm saying? You know how that go when the sauce start to flow.
But yeah, so how long y'all been in the lifestyle?
It's been about 4 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 4 years.
About 4 years, yeah.
So we still we still in our elementary stage.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly about the lifestyle. What are the good parts that you like about the LS?
The good is you get to be with people who seemingly don't have sexual hang-ups versus what you find out in our communities. We've been conditioned to believe that it's man and woman and that's it. Monogamous relationships. Anything outside of that is you going to hell, you condemned. So that's part of the good. The other part is, you can develop relationships with people who think like you. We can't have these conversations with our aunts and uncles and cousins or so forth at home because, this is not, even if they want it, they're afraid to say that they want it because of the judgment. So we get to talk to other people, next week we might want to call you up and say, man, remember we was talking about this? And it's okay because there's no judgment in it. Mm-hmm. Some of the bad is the way some of the parties go down, people know each other, so it's kind of clicked off. Sometimes people meet up to be with the same people. And, a part of what we're doing when we have open parties, like, the one we're at right now, is for other people to meet people and become engaged. But when you're going off into rooms by yourself,
that's the ugly.
That's the ugly because you're cutting people off from the experience of
having a party.
Mm-hmm. This you can do on your own.
Yeah, you can go to your house and close the door. You know what I'm saying? But if you come to you spend all this money, time, planning, preparation to get to this place, and then all of a sudden you walking down the hallway and everybody's doors are closed. You're like, okay, well, where am I? Did I just come to a hotel to just do it with my girl and maybe another, somebody else? That's the bad and the ugly for me. Yeah. If you here, I ain't saying you got to give it up because I'm here, but just open yourself up more. So that's the bad and the ugly for me. Yeah.
So y'all prefer house parties?
Yes.
This right here, like I said, when you get to going in the rooms and clicking off. For example, I was at the last party, right? So I'm like, what a room that everybody's at? They like, that room down there. So I'm like, I knock on the door. Dude open the door, look at the dude like, you know him? And I'm like, you know him. I thought everybody's supposed to be in this room. No, I don't know him. Close the door. I'm like, damn, I thought, this a hotel, bro. You know, this we ain't in no, I ain't coming to your home. You know what I'm saying? Start knocking on your bedroom door. You see what I'm saying? So that's the bad and ugly for me. I don't like that.
You're supposed to be a community.
That's right. That's right.
Not cliquish. We're not in high school.
Nah, we not in high school, bro. So, I mean, I just want to see from my eyes. I ain't got to put my hands on no new girl. You know, I ain't got to touch her. It's just for, like she said, just for the sight of it, just for the look. You know, yeah.
So, as a couple, what do you want to get out of the lifestyle? It's like, what are your goals? Not necessarily goals, but what are your desires that you want to fulfill as a couple?
Fun. This keeps us young. You know what I mean? Makes our bond tighter because it seems like every time we go to one of these parties and we go home, everything just get tight and everything start moving, flowing. So we come to these parties and leave with the flow state, as I call it.
Okay. What about you, Miss Lady?
It's the same thing for me as it is for him, but I think for me it's a little bit deeper because of I have to say this, the type of work that I do outside of here. You know, I work with a lot of young people that have sexual issues. So I think some of that comes from suppressed feelings and not talking about sex in society. You know, anytime there are children who are perpetrated against, like R. Kelly, someone that we all know in the black community, and it's not dealt with. And then when you become an adult and the manifestation of those behaviors come out negatively, we have judgments. So we have to start having more conversations about sex and the good that's involved in it versus keeping things hidden and under the rug because it's too uncomfortable for us to talk about. So there's a lot of liberation in this.
Yeah, I've met a lot of women who have sexual repression in a lifestyle, but that's a whole nother topic. So I just want to thank my couple from the VA, the state of the lovers, you dig? So this has been another episode of Swingers After Dark, and this is your host, Not Sun, baby. Check out my website at www.notsunblaze.com. That's www.nahsunblaze.com. And check out my ebook, You, Me, Us, Them. The Swinger Manifesto. It's on Nook, Kindle, iBooks, Google Play. It'll make you say, na 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 na, ow. And shoot me an email at swingpodcast@gmail.com. That's swingpodcast@gmail.com. And hit me up with any questions and or concerns that you may have. And also rate, subscribe, comment, share this podcast to your friends, foes, frenemies, or whatever the case may be. And on that note, until next time, peace. And don't kiss them hoes in the mouth, man.